The race for a vaccine is not slowing down, and it doesn't look like it will until we find one. Several companies are ahead of the pack. What are they? Can you buy them now? Is it too late? Did you know that companies are currently looking for volunteers to try their possible vaccines on? Things are moving fast, but let me show you how to keep up. Man, COVID-19 is in the news and is just hot and heavy in the news. Everybody and their mama is trying to get a cure, actually a vaccine for COVID-19. But I've got some stocks within the space that I want you to take a look at. New study may provide insights into Novavax COVID-19 vaccine. Top analyst weighs in. So in looking at this, I read the story. The Novavax possible vaccine is getting closer and closer and closer. What are the implications of the trial? All right. We believe this phase 2B clinical trial has the potential to provide an early readout on the vaccine efficacy, along with additional safety and immunogenicity data, which ultimately could further de-risk stage. Wow, what? Sounded out, man. De-risk late-stage development of the 2373. In our view, this also offers optionality for an earlier emergency use authorization granted by the U.S. FDA. The FDA or the government has something in play called warp speed. This is why these stocks, these companies are coming up with a vaccine quicker than you've ever seen ever. They've gotten the okay to go through and get as close to a vaccine as possible as fast as they can. Another stock, AstraZeneca. Competitors under pressure on reports may get early nod in the U.S. for vaccine. That's it. So the government is behind. Remember the Kodak trade? The government got behind Kodak, and Kodak went woo, and then real quick it went bam. All right, and then they brought into question the funding that the government gave to them for Kodak, gave them for the vaccine. Vaccine developers are under modest pressure pre-market on results, and this was on 8/24, that the Trump administration is pushing for an early approval of a COVID vaccine, a COVID-19 vaccine, potentially based on a smaller data set of 30,000 subjects. All right, the FDA normally requires a lot more testing before a drug goes out to market. AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and BioNTech have rallied modestly on the news, although AstraZeneca stated that it has no discussions with the Fed on an early nod. Sanofi is in here. There's a lot of stocks, GlaxoSmithKline, all up on that news on 8/24. Moderna is one of my favorites that I've been looking at all throughout this time. Novavax, DVax, a lot of stocks. All of these stocks we do have in a watch list we're going to take a look at in a moment. Here's my stock that I like and I've been liking for the longest time, even though it's a tough stock to sit through. This was on 8/26. Yesterday, Moderna was up 7% on positive COVID-19 vaccine data. So now we were looking at Novavax that is up on data, and now Moderna rallies, albeit on below average volume. Moderna has just been hitting the news time and time again. A lot of people are jumping on board with that Moderna stock. The vaccine administered in 2 10 microgram doses, 28 days apart, stimulated an immune response in older adults, who are the people who are most susceptible to getting COVID-19, inducing similar antibody titers. I said that wrong last time. My wife's respiratory therapist, she said I said it wrong, so I'm not saying it again. Neutralizing antibody levels were higher than those in convalescent sera, but the specific titers were undisclosed. So no serious adverse events were reported. That's positive, but that's now, and that was in a short amount of time on a smaller group of people. And one more good news today, Abbott Labs. Abbott Labs they surged because they came out with a story clearing 15-minute COVID-19 tests, $5. And they're going to go up in your nose. I don't think they're going to tickle your brain with this test. I think they just go around in the nose to get some wetness, and it'll give you the test results in 15 minutes, and it costs $5. Abbott Labs was rocketing this morning based on this news, but I saw a lot of profit taking on the stock. So those are my coronavirus stocks. Let's go back to my list. All right, let's go back to the list. Let's take a look at them. We were looking at, what were we looking at? Novavax, AstraZeneca, MRNA. What was my other one? Abbott Labs. Abbott Labs. Where's it? Hey, Abbott. Where's Abbott Labs? ABT. Is it not in my list? How is it not in my list? Well, it's going to be in my list now. ABT. That was my other story. All right, so let's go through this again. ABT, Novavax, AstraZeneca, MRNA. Let's analyze them real quick. So we give an intrinsic value on every stock in our database. Abbott Labs trading at 111. It's got a value of $73. For anyone who's new is going to ask me the question, how do you set up or give a value on every stock? Well, we look at things like earnings. We look at things like earnings growth rate, along with what moves the markets to assign an intrinsic value on any stock. Our mantra is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. So because Abbott Labs is overvalued, it means that people are willing to pay a premium to own the stock, which is not altogether a bad thing. All right. Novavax at 108, value of 240. I like that because it is clearly undervalued. AstraZeneca trading at 56, value of 28. This stock is overvalued. And Moderna trading at 68 with a value of 12.51. Even though I like this stock a lot, I know that it's a more aggressive trade in this space, where if I'm looking for more of a solid trade in this space, Novavax may be the way to go because it is clearly undervalued. Now, let's look at the indicators that are proprietary to VectorVest to help you to make better decisions as well. RV, RS, RT, VST, and CI. All of these indicators are all cast on a scale between 0 and 2. If the indicator is above the value of 1, it's favorable. If it's below the value of 1, it's unfavorable. Relative value looks at a stock's long-term price appreciation potential, its upside potential over the next 1 to 3 years. This will help me to understand whether this is a stock that I'd rather hold long or not. Abbott Labs has a relative value at 0.90. Well, it's below the value of 1, so it's unfavorable. A AAA corporate bond, which is an alternative investment, should outperform Abbott Labs over the next 1 to 3 years. But that doesn't make it that I shouldn't buy Abbott Labs. Novavax at a value of 1.62 on relative value. Nicely undervalued, good upside potential. Novavax is looking not only good from an undervalued perspective, but as a stock in the space that I don't mind holding longer term. AstraZeneca has a relative value at 0.67. Now, AstraZeneca has been around for quite some time, but it's got a relative value below 1, not a stock that I want to hold. AstraZeneca is more of a stock that I would rather to trade. All right, Moderna, same scenario, overvalued with a relative value at 0.63. Below 1, not a stock that I want long term. Now, let's look at safety. Relative safety is an indicator of risk. It looks at the consistency and predictability of a company's financial performance. Layman's terms, does this company make money quarter over quarter, year over year? If it does, it's got a relative safety above 1 because it's not a risky stock. Stocks that continually meet or exceed earnings are stocks that are more attractive to investors. Well, Abbott Labs has got a relative safety at 1.29. So this is a safe stock, not a risky stock, even though I may not want to hold it long term. Altogether, the stock makes good. It's got a good safety. Something tells me that Abbott probably pays a dividend as well. Novavax. Now, good undervalued stock, good upside potential, but it's a little bit more of a risk with a relative safety at 0.84. AstraZeneca. It's overvalued, not long-term stock, but relative safety at 1.09, so it's favorable. And Moderna's got a relative safety at 0.89, below the value of 1. So two of the stocks are more riskier than other stocks. Now let's get to the meat and potatoes. Which ones of these stocks are moving up the fastest? That's relative timing. Above 1, the stock's in an uptrend. Below 1, the stock's in a downtrend. Abbott Labs, relative timing at 1.32, definitely in an uptrend. Novavax, which is that stock that is undervalued, good upside potential, not real good safety. What's hurting it right now? Right now, the stock is in a downtrend with RT at 0.73. The stock is in a downtrend. So maybe I wait for a better buying opportunity when I can see that the stock is back in an uptrend. Now, this is important. People look at the news, man, Novavax looks good, I'm going to go buy it. Well, why not wait until the stock is back in an uptrend unless you want to be a little bit more aggressive on the trade and say, well, I'm thinking that it's going to go up because of the news. If you're going to do that, you're going to be more aggressive on the trade. Just tighten your stops just in case the stock goes against you. AstraZeneca, relative timing at 0.93. Below the value of 1, not in an uptrend right now. Same thing with Moderna at 0.74, not in an uptrend right now. Now, as much as I like Moderna, notice that it doesn't have good upside potential right now. The safety is not there. It's not going up in an uptrend right now. So what do I do at Moderna? I'm in and out of Moderna. And this kind of analysis helps me to know what stocks I can hold a little longer and which stocks I need to trade. That's what this analysis is all about. If you are not a VectorVest subscriber and you take a trial and you want to know what all of these indicators are, if you right-click on any stock, you can get a full-blown stock analysis report. Where's my stock? Oh, you probably have it out. Hold on. It'll look. Where is it at, Joey? Did you take it out already? Because I don't see it.
What is it?
The stock analysis report.
Oh, yeah. I didn't bring it up. Yeah, you just have to go to the third one and do it.
The third one?
Oh, yeah, right from there.
Huh?
Did you get it from there?
I'm looking for it. Trade now at brokerages, upcoming launch, analyze options. Interesting that it doesn't have the stock analysis report. I'll work on that. But it will give a definition for each and every stock indicator that we have up in here. Let's take a look at these graphs. Let's see which ones you would want to get into right now, all right? I always look at a 3-month graph. Why? Because I want to make sure that earnings is in the picture. Why is my graph not the way? There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Here's my 3 and 8 exponential moving averages. Abbott Labs, this is a move up on news today about the $5 COVID-19 test that you can get the results back in about 15 minutes. Big gap up today, open candle. Look at the big wick in the top of the candle, a little bit of selling pressure. People woke up this morning, saw the news, and made a lot of money. A lot of people captured that profit. Now, some of this is profit taking. I love the relative timing is moving higher right now. It is above 1. The stock is in an uptrend. Let's go to the next one. Wow, Novavax, even though the story made the news. Remember I told you, why not wait for a better buying opportunity when RT is above 1? How about when you see RT above 1, the stock's moving higher? When RT is below 1, the stock's moving lower. I like the news, but I'd rather let the stock come to me. I'd rather buy on an up day when the 3 crosses above the 8. So the news is there. Let the stock come to you. Let's go to the next one, which is AstraZeneca. Moving sideways right now. I think that it have an earnings play. Earnings came out on 7/30. 8, 9, 10. This earnings won't come out again until October. But a lot of sideways move on AstraZeneca right now. Does have a nice level of support sitting at $55.30. If you own it right now, that's probably a good line in the sand to say if it goes below that, you probably should consider selling it. If you own it right now, it's in a channel, leave it be. Let your stops manage the trades. But also keep in mind, RT is below 1. And the last stock, Moderna, remember I said when you get into it, this is a stock to get in and get out of. Right now, it's setting up. The 3 is currently above the 8. I really would like to see relative timing back it up. Down day to day, always think about if you're going to get into a stock that's even making the news, make sure you buy on an up day. All right, and last but not least, we do have a watch list of all of these stocks called coronavirus stocks. If I highlight it, let's see how many stocks I have in here. Altogether, 45 stocks in that space. If I want to use this to say, well, which one of these stocks have the biggest or in the biggest uptrend, I sort by relative timing. And the fastest moving one right now is Twist Bioscience, TWST, down today, but the fastest moving stock in this space, followed by MISO, which is up almost 2% today, PTSI, which is up 4% today. So I can use this watch list of stocks to help me to make a decision and hone in on knowing that this is a hot topic, which ones of these coronavirus stocks are moving on a day-over-day basis, or the ones I want to hold for the longest. You know, the vaccine is going to come out. Which ones of these stocks am I more comfortable holding? Just be careful, though. You're going to hold for a while. They're good upside stocks, but you may have some problems right now. Look at these RTs below the value of 1. Now, here's one, Lakeland. It's got good upside potential, good safety, and good timing. Bingo! I just found one that I like that's up 1% today, growing their earnings at a clip of 28%. There you go. That's the power of analyzing a stock to hone in on what's best working in a space. All right. Any questions, Joey?
Bill Gray asks, please explain RS versus CI.
Question is, let's talk about relative safety versus CI. Relative safety looks at a stock's consistency and predictability of financial performance. Does the stock make money quarter over quarter, year over year? CI is a stock's ability to withstand long and lengthy price declines. All right, so this is a technical indicator, just like relative timing. Relative value and relative safety are our fundamental indicators. So when I look at CI, high CI stocks are stocks that tell me that when they go down, they're resilient enough to come back up quickly. All right, so based upon that, a lot of these stocks in this space have high CIs. Why? Because again, a lot of these stocks are making the news. So as quickly as they go down, news comes out, they go back up. That CI is showing that. But when I look at relative value, relative safety, relative timing, it will hone in on which stocks are longer term plays and definitely which stocks are more trades.
Yeah.